Baby, I'm the gamble of your life. Why you always gotta think twice? We could go at it all night till the morning till you can't even go no more.
Aaron, can you take us through those two third down conversions at the end, the one to Davante and then the one to Jimmy?
Yeah, Davante ran a great route in the slot there. I think the leverage looked like the defender may have jumped inside at the snap. And he, just got a great release, got off the ball, and I tried to put it in a good spot for him. He was on one tonight. He was really crisp with his route running. Just one of those special nights. He made a number of, very heady plays. That was one of them, because that wasn't exactly the check that was that we were looking for. It was better. It was better than the check, and tonight reminds me of the connection that Jordy and I had for so many years, where there were some unspoken things that we could do without even, communicating anything about it. And Davante made 3 or 4 plays like that tonight, so that was pretty fun. And then the second one, I just tried to hold it as long as I could at the snap. I was really thinking Davante pre-snap. At the snap, Diggs, went to his right and kind of doubled. So I knew we had one-on-ones on the backside. Pretty happy for Jimmy, to have a couple really big impact plays for us. All his catches, I believe, were on third down, all conversions. He's a great friend, a great teammate, and I'm really happy that he made those plays.
Aaron,
As they were
just before the
reviewing.
2-minute drill, or the 2 minutes rather warning, it's like a 3rd and 8, and you hit Davante off the right-hand side. I think it was a fade. You're an easier way to control that looked like a tough throw.
Well, like I kind of just mentioned, his body control makes the margin of error on a throw like that a lot higher. He ran a great route, and I had a lot of space, I felt like, to put it. I'm not sure what it looked like on the TV, but it felt like from where I was standing that, he had a good deal of separation.
Aaron, as they were reviewing this spot on Jimmy's, were you confident that he got it, or were you guys kind of looking ahead to what you might have done on 4th and 1?
I didn't see. I just heard the noise, so I didn't exactly see where he ended up. I thought, based on the throw, that it was going to be a tough catch, and then I didn't see kind of the finish of it, so I wasn't aware. But when I saw him celebrating, I was assuming, he had gotten it. We kind of got hosed in that first quarter one, so I was hoping we didn't get hosed again.
Aaron, can you possibly put in the words what it's like? You've been working for months and months and months to get here, and then it's all on the line. You convert a 3rd down, and you've won the game.
Yeah, it's a special feeling. That's kind of what we talked about in the huddle before the last drive. These are the moments that you work for and you think about in the off season, the chance to put a game away. And like I've said, most of the year, as you guys have talked about the aesthetics of our wins, it doesn't have to be pretty. But what we've done is closed out games the right way. And our defense, although they gave up a few scoring drives in the second half, big stop. And then, we put together a drive that closed the game out that was very special. And it's a good feeling.
Aaron, is this personally satisfying, this win tonight, or this game for you? This team needed you tonight, and you had a good game, and you made some clutch throws at the end. Is it personally satisfying for you?
I mean, winning is always satisfying, but there are moments in a season that rank higher than others, and this obviously is one of those moments where, based on the way their offense was moving the ball, I knew I was going to have to make some plays tonight and felt good about the preparation and the performance. I felt really locked in from Wednesday on and practiced well and felt really good today all day. Just felt like there was going to be one of these type of performances tonight.
Aaron, you said Davante was on. How on were you?
Yeah, I mean, as opposed to our last game we played in Detroit, where I felt pretty good about most of the throws, and statistically I was way off. I felt good about all the throws tonight. I felt good about the ball coming off my hand, and it's one of those feelings starts to creep up in warm-ups where you really feel like you're locked in, and it's fun when it translates to the field.
What did you guys learn from that last trip out to San Francisco that can help you? They put it to you pretty good out there.
Yeah, we got to play a lot better, obviously. They're a great football team, have a great front, obviously get after the passer, and don't need to rush a lot of guys to do that. Excellent pass rush, really good on the back end, smart. They play the time clock of the pass rush really well. Obviously, their offense has a number of studs. Jimmy's had a really nice season, and we got a bunch of backs who've had really good years. The rookie receiver is a very good player. Obviously, picking up Emmanuel was a nice pickup, and then you got the tight end. So one of those games where we know every possession is going to be really important, and it's going to be loud. But this is where it gets really fun. There's only 4 teams left, and we're one of them, and we've got a legitimate chance.
Aaron, our third downs in the area, you can build momentum. I know the last trip to San Fran, third downs were a bugaboo, but today you were so efficient on third down. How do you carry that over to next week?
I don't think you carry over a lot from this game. You got to start your own momentum each week, and I thought we were very efficient. I thought we had a good plan on third down, and then we went out and executed. It wasn't necessarily what we were looking for every time on the third down, as far as guys kind of made some plays. Jimmy, we run in a little 3-step combination. He turns it into kind of a big high cross and makes a nice play on it. Davante again, on the big third down, he kind of had such a great release. It kind of turned into a different type of route. So we just adjusted really well on the fly.
Aaron, what did you think about how your line performed without Brian in there today, and just your reaction when obviously he couldn't go?
Yeah, I think I saw it. We were in warm-ups and we ran a play, and he kind of turned and motioned for Jared to come in, and at that point I figured it was going to be tough for him to go. He's such a physically tough, mentally tough guy. Obviously, it was killing him to not be out there. I know this was bothering him, whatever illness he has from this morning on. And I didn't realize that until I got in the facility around 2, that there was a question about whether or not he would play. Knowing Brian and the fact that he's kind of an ornery person in general, I figured this was kind of right up his alley. But obviously it was too difficult for him, and Jared stepped in and did a great job. He really did. For a guy, I was teasing him in the third quarter. During a long TV timeout, I said, you were retired this year, and here you are starting a playoff game. And he said, hey, I was at your first game in the stands. So it's just funny how life is sometimes. But we're really happy to have him, and he's been really good for us.
Adams' first game this season.
Yeah, he said he was at the game in Chicago.
When Adams kind of changed that route, how did you know what he was going to do? What did you see that let you know he would go that long?
I think a little bit of intuition. It's like I was trying to talk about earlier. The feeling I used to have with Jordy was I just kind of knew whatever he was doing based on his body movements, where he was headed. And as I kind of tried to keep my eyes down the middle and peeked out there, I could tell he'd gotten off so good. He didn't do anything inside, and I just wanted to make sure I got over there as quick as I could. So, those are the kind of things that give you even more confidence in the connection, and obviously we're going to need another big week out of him next week.
When Matt comes to you guys with something like that fake rub route on the first touchdown, what does it do for you just knowing that he's thinking about the game at that level, he's putting you guys in the right spots, just as a player, just as a confidence builder?
That play?
Yeah, just like when he comes to you with it, just like seeing like that kind of, those wrinkles, that sort of creativity, what does it do for you as a player?
I came up with that play.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go then.
I suggested it on Monday.
Okay, there it is.
I'm glad he called it. That's kind of what that point was for. He was pointing at me, I was pointing back at him. Yeah.
Hey, Aaron, so the 40-yard touchdown to Davante, is that exactly as it's designed then, or is that another one of the Jordy-esque things? Can you take us through that, please?
Well, the funny thing we were laughing about on the sidelines was we've had a similar play to that a few times this year, and he hasn't run it consistently the same way. But the beauty in the communication that we have is we came in at halftime, we talked about a number of things we wanted to get done in the second half, and as far as play pass was concerned, we talked about a different concept. But Davante had told it kind of gotten through the chain that he wanted that play. And so right as we left the locker room, Matt and I were chatting, and I said, I think we want this other play. He's like, okay, cool. And Davante ran it perfectly. It was about his body language selling the over and then taking it back up. And luckily, I threw a bad ball to him that stopped him and allowed him to score there. But that was just a very precise route by him, which allowed him to get so much separation.
So wait, of all the great throws you did have tonight, that one is not a good throw?
Yeah, it was high and behind him. Like I said, it worked out because it stopped him enough for him to go, but it wasn't a great throw.
When's the last time you ran a sneak?
The guy's been giving me a lot of crap about it. I guess they put together some 20-clip, sneak reel where they watched my sneaks, and I was 16 for 20, I guess, effectiveness. I said, that's pretty good, So we talked about it. Came over the sideline before that play, and Matt was talking about running it, if I wanted to run it, and I said, yeah. And he said, all right, if we don't get it, fourth down. I said, hold on. I said, I'm going to get this one, okay? I'm going to get this one. And, some of the eyes in the circle probably were thinking, you better. Or I don't know if you will. When I came in the huddle and talked to him about it, I think the way I sold it probably helped. But now after seeing that I actually had some positive momentum moving forward, I'll probably get just a tad more respect on my sneak ability.
Can you give us any insight into that chat between you and Marshawn after the game there?
Well, Marshawn and I became fast friends back in 2004, the only year we got to play together. He is one of my all-time favorite teammates, and I only got to play 1 year with him. But he has just an incredible personality and charisma, and he's just so fun to be around. There was obviously conversation years ago about picking him up in a trade that fell through. That would have been a lot of fun to play some more years together. But I just have a ton of respect for him and his career. He's one of those transcendent players that is so likable and so respected by so many people. And I'm just fortunate to have gotten to play with him for a year. And so we were just catching up, talking about some silly stuff that happened back in the day and seeing where he's at. He's a lot of fun to be around, and it's fun to see him.
Aaron, this wasn't the first time where the 4-minute offense salted the game away this year. You had a couple of instances like that. What in your opinion, made it so good this year?
Today or this year?
In general, just what do you feel like?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's I've said it, it's the character of the football team. I think we have had some ugly wins this year, but a lot of them have involved some moments of adversity that we've pushed through, and I think that's a characteristic of our football team is in those moments we've come up with plays, whether it's a pass or the line blocking and a run springing or a defensive stop or a great, game-winning punt. We've had a lot of those moments where we've needed a play in a certain time. We needed a stop on defense, Preston came up with a sack. We needed to convert a couple big third downs, and we made it happen. That's just the character of this football team. It's very high, and there's a lot of belief in those moments that we're going to get the job done, and today was fun to have plays and to make them.
Aaron, you've told this story about leaving the field after you beat the winless Lions back in 2008, how much that meant to you. I don't know if that was rock on or I love you guys or what you were doing, but it was that.
It's the latter.
Okay. And then it was a finger and then a fist bump. Can you kind of take us through what it felt like to leave the field knowing that you're now one win away from getting back to the Super Bowl?
Well, it's the last home game of the year, and we have such a special relationship with our fans. Guys who've been other places understand how special it is here. It's just a different connection. We don't have an owner. We have thousands of people who have a piece of paper that's a stock certificate. But people feel like they're invested in what we're doing. And they stuck with us through a couple rough years. So to walk off the field, being a 2 seed, where, let's be honest, I don't know that even our fans felt supremely confident in us, which I know that a lot of the media didn't as well. But to be able to walk off that field again victorious, there's no feeling like it. I stopped myself in the second quarter tonight. and was looking around when there was a TV timeout and they were waving the flags, and I just couldn't. It was just a special moment, just seeing just the whole stadium waving those white towels, and just I just think I was really in that moment just grateful for the opportunity and loving what I do. I mean, there's nothing like having the ball in your hands in a clutch situation and knowing you got 78,998 or whatever it was today, most of them, cheering you on.
Baby, I'm the gamble of your life. Why you always gotta think twice? We could go at it all night till the morning till you can't even go no more. You like it, don't even deny it.